welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Kaspa update. Want to take a look at the Kaspa price set. As I can tell you with a high degree of certainty, the community is divided right here. Are we going to have a bust to the downside, crashing 90%, 80%, 60%, whatever the number may be, or we're going to have a boom continue to the upside, setting new all-time highs right here. So in my last update, I showed you reasons why we were going to set a new all-time high, and for sure we slightly set a new all-time high. But obviously the question right now is, are we going to continue higher, or that was a fake high and we're going to continue crashing to the downside right here? I showed you a plethora of reasons as to why we were going to continue higher. For example, we took at the RSI divergence right here, saying that, you know what, this has been the case time and again. You can take a look at it. For example, this moment right here, between maybe something like the 12th of November 2022 to like 25th of February, there was like bearish divergence right here with the RSI, but the price for some reason managed to continue to the upside. The same story right here as well. You can see a crashing ABC correction right here, but then again you still managed to set a new all-time high. So this really wasn't carrying much significance in my analysis. We also took a look at the MACD indicator, saying that whenever we have bottomed out on the price chart right here, that was the same instance that the MACD was showing a cross right here, right when we're below zero. Obviously you can see it has been consistent. Now when we are above zero, it's a little bit iffy, because you can see there are instances where you have a cross to the downside, but that really doesn't mean that it's going to be a catastrophic fall of the price right here, right? In some instances, yes, we have had that indication right here, and moreover, I was saying that, you know, in our instance right here, we don't have a cross above zero right here, indicating that there is downward momentum, although we are now starting to lose momentum to the upside, but it's not like definite as it is when we are below zero right here. So these are some of the reasons that we took a look at. We also took a look at the volume that we have got a rise in the volume. This is consistent as to what has been happening each and every single time we have had a new all-time high. But now the question obviously is, are we going to continue higher? Now, before I get into the content, I just want to kindly ask you to help me spread this video by delicately tapping the like button. People looking for Kaspa updates will now be able to find this video much more easily. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel just yet, I would encourage you to do so, really, because I do tier on Kaspa and a number of altcoins on a regular basis. And without me running my mouth too much, let's get into the real stuff. So I've gone on to highlight these ABC corrections that you see on the price set, and you can see how consistent they are whenever we have a correction on the price set. And I'm going to show you exactly what is happening right here. So before we get there, I just want to remind you of a theory that traders like to use in cryptocurrency, stocks, whatever. There's a certain theory called the Elliott wave theory, and then with this theory, what you are saying is when price is moving, right, it moves in like 5 waves right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously there are rules which we are going to talk about in a minute, but the basic structure is price is moving right here in form of 5 waves to the upside. So actually 3 waves to the upside, and then 2 like wave 2 and wave 4 will be crashing to the downside right here. But inside of these waves right here, you can further divide them, right, to say, you know what, inside of this one wave right here, we still have got, you know what, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 to the upside. And for each and every correction right here, the waves that go to the downside, they have what we call ABC corrections right here. So this will be your A, B, and your C correction right here. We have the same thing right here as well for this crashing wave right here. Then we have got the one, that's the ABC actually, sorry, ABC correction here. And for impulse wave, which are waves to the upside here, you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. You have the same thing here as well. Let's move it a bit. Let's go like this here. This is your wave. So let me catch that one nice and easy. You've got your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the upside. And whenever you have a correction, you still have got those ones, right? And inside of these smaller waves right here, we can also have like other smaller waves. I don't know if I can draw that right here, but for example, in this wave 1 that we have right here of the smaller wave, we can go ahead and divide them further to say we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then for the corrections, it's the same thing. They will be just having ABC corrections, which are smaller, right? So this is basically the structure of Elliott wave counts. You've got 5 waves, and then we've got 3 waves to the upside, 2 waves to the downside, and inside of each and every single wave, you can further divide them into those same waves, right? They can just be smaller, but you end up having something like this. You've got your bigger trend right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. You can further divide it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. You can even further divide them into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, right? So this is our structure right here, but we have got like a few rules that we actually should never break right here. For example, rule number 1 says that wave 3 can never be the shortest of impulse wave, meaning that wave 3 can never be the shortest of wave 1 and wave 5 there, right? And golden rule number 2 says that wave 2 can never go beyond the start of wave 1, right? So if we have, you know what, a structure like this one, let's say this is our wave 1 right here, we can't have wave 2 coming below wave 1 just like that, right? There's nothing like this. This is impossible. It shouldn't happen with Elliott wave counts. Then our last golden rule says that wave 4 can never cross into the same territory as wave 1. So if you have got 5 waves like these ones right here, this is your wave 1, this is your wave 2, wave 3, your wave 4 here should not go below the territory of wave 1. So something like this should never happen. This is not a valid Elliott wave count, right? So let's go ahead and delete that because this is not a valid wave count. If it's going to be a valid wave count, we should actually have wave 4 being above wave 1. There are instances actually where you have something like that when you've got maybe a leading diagonal, but we're not going to be talking about that because that's going to complicate the whole thing. But this is the rule. Wave 4 in most cases should not be entering the territory of wave 1 right there, right? So going back to our price set right here, and if we are going to apply the same rules here, we are going to have to delete this first, obviously. So let's go ahead and start our Elliott wave count here, where you've got your wave 1 right here. This is wave 2, not exceeding like the base of wave 1 right here. And then we have our wave 3 right here. And then you have your wave 4 right here. And you have got your 5th wave right here. The first cycle is complete. Now, you notice that in this 4th wave right here, there's an ABC correction. Remember, we said that when we are correcting to the downside right here in wave 2 and in wave 4, we actually have ABC corrections, and that's exactly what you see right here with these that I've highlighted in a different color. That's ABC, right, for wave 4 and for wave 2 right here, right? Now, this wave 2 in here maybe is not as clear, but we can go ahead and highlight that one as well. So this is your first wave right here, A, B, C. So you get that one right here. And for 5 waves to the upside inside of wave 3, I hope this is not so confusing. We can go ahead and highlight that one. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So these are the first waves right here. This color is messing things up right here. So we can go ahead and delete it, right? But the most important thing is to show that the ABC is here and the correction is done right here. So we have our first cycle with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside right there. And then we begin a new cycle after having an ABC correction here. So we are going to start counting 5 waves to the upside again in our bigger cycle there. And then we're going to do something like this for the very bottom right here. You have your wave 1 right here. It's very clear. You have got your wave 2. Remember, in wave 2, we have got ABC corrections. And then this is your third wave. Now, this is where it gets interesting because in my own opinion, we haven't actually finished wave 3. So I think wave 3 is going to extend high, and I'm going to explain why that is going to happen, right? Then probably have wave 4 stretching even further to wave 5. Let's make it much more, regular so that it makes sense, right? So that's something like this one right here. I'm not specifically saying that this is where the price is going, but I just want to make it like look the way it's supposed to look, right? So now with a structure like this one, you actually end up having a super cycle where, remember, we said that you can have like minor waves within a bigger wave, right? So we can actually come up with bigger waves right here. From inception right here, we can actually start saying that, you know what, the first 5 waves, number 1, 2, 3, and 4, this is just one cycle here. With wave 2 having this ABC correction that we have after completing 5 waves, obviously. And now we are looking to complete another 5 waves. So we have already have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 is still in formation. We see we have to go and have wave 4, and then wave 5, right? So this bigger cycle is not even yet complete in my own opinion. And this is where we are still working. So let me not complicate things by doing this like grand super cycle right here, but going back to this wave 3 that we were saying that I think is still information here, because what we can actually see is, let me go back here to this structure. We have a grander 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as we've already highlighted, but we can also have minor waves in there, right? So even for the third wave, let's take an example of this wave right here. You can still see that of the formation of this wave 3 right here, you see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves there, and then an ABC correction. And I'm relating it to this big wave 3 that we have right here, saying that, you know what, we can actually come here and go ahead and do something like this. This is your wave 1 right here, right? Let me go ahead and catch it nice and easy without making a mistake. So from here, this is your wave 1, this is your wave 2, this is your wave 3, this is your wave 4, and this is your wave 5 right here. So the first 5 waves in wave 3 are complete right here, and then we have an ABC correction, making this 1, 2, and we are actually working on wave 3 inside of wave 3, right? So what I'm trying to say is this right here. We are working on wave 3, but then again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and we are working 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is exactly where we are. Now, what you would expect after an ABC correction, you still expect another beginning of a cycle, which will now be another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yes, we may see price coming to the downside a little bit right here and continuing even further. Let's go ahead and try to illustrate that right here. This won't be the exact same thing, but let's say we have something like this: 2, 3, even 4, and then 5 waves to complete. The third wave right here would move this one right here to something like this, right? So this will now be a complete 1, 2, 3, and then we still have to go another 4 and another 5, and this will likely be happening on top of the previous all-time high, because there's no way it's going to happen below the previous all-time high. So this is the kind of approach that I'm taking at the moment. Obviously, some people would actually be asking, like, why exactly did you think that wave is not done right here, wave 3? Now, the reason why I think wave 3 is actually not done here is also the fact that right here, if you would now come and say, all right, now we have had this cycle, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first cycle is complete. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you would come here and say, all right, this is your wave 3, this is your wave 4 right here, and then this is wave 5, and wave 5 is complete right here. Is gonna be doom. We're going to crash like 70%, 80%, 90% right here. Now it stops making sense right here when you say your wave 4 is entering the territory of wave 1. Do you see that? So you already have wave 1, 2, 3, but your wave 4 is entering the territory of wave 1, and it makes this Elliott wave count invalid. This is where I'm coming from, and I exactly understand why people are worried that the price is going to come crashing right from where it is right now, because yeah, it's true, the price has risen something like 280x since inception. Yes, it's happened with crypto, but that's not a very good reason to say, you know what, it's going to happen right here and where. Moreover, it's really difficult to time the top. I think literally it's impossible to time the top unless you are depending on luck or something like that. But in the case that we are wrong right here, what are the things that I'll be looking for a crash, that 80% that people are talking about? Because yes, the truth is eventually it's going to come at some point, but is it this moment? I tend to believe that this is not the moment it's going to happen, like at least in the immediate short term. But there are some things that I'll be looking to see if that is going to happen. Usually these crashes I have already highlighted so many times, it has got a signature crash, an ABC crash that it shows right here. So in my own opinion, there is no need for me to be panicking and selling after an 80% drop, right? Already this price that does that each and every single time. You crash 30%, you retrace, and I'll be waiting for something like this right here. We are rising, right, as we are rising at the moment, and then we continue like this right here. I will be waiting for that big crash that people are telling, but in the retrace of that bigger crash right here, maybe taking a look at indicators at that current time where that will be happening, this is probably where I will be selling. But at the moment right here, I just don't have enough information that is telling me that this price that is going to crash. I've already talked about the bearish divergence, the MACD right here, it hasn't flashed like in previous cases. So if that is going to happen, I'll be looking for that ABC correction, selling into the retrace, right? I'll keep you updated, but obviously none of what I say is financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say, all right? But if you like the content, don't forget to delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family. See you on the next one. Take care. Bye.